topic to discuss this time. Let me accept this. So, I mean, we are, everybody is living the atmosphere of change that happened in Syria. There's a lot of questioning back and forth. Some people are really have a lot of hope. Others maybe have lots of doubts. So my question here is, do we need a change for the sake of change, or we need a change to achieve nahda, or for better word, lack of better word, is renaissance maybe? So which one we need? I mean, most of us maybe we need to achieve nahda or renaissance. And to do that, do we have, I think we need to have three basic elements. First of all, we need to have an idea. What do we need to achieve? Then we need to have the change. The change happened. But then if we have an idea, then the change will go to a direction. Then we'll achieve a goal. If not, then the change will happen, without any direction. Then problems will start happening and all that issues. That's my uh, ideas. I don't know if Dr. Suhail with us.
Dr. Suhail is not with us. Yeah, he's with us right now. I think if you repeat your question, so Dr. Suhail.
Okay. So based on the situations we are watching that's evolving in Syria and maybe other places, we need a change for change, or a change to achieve renaissance or nahda. If we need to achieve something, then if there is no thoughts, no plan before the change, then the change will be in without planning, without a direction, without. It could go up and down, and it could go cause destruction more than, construction or benefiting people. So first of all, if there is no plan, or if there is a plan. Second, the change. The change, we see there is a change. We cannot deny that. But third of all, if there is a thought or plan, then this change will go to one direction, and hopefully will achieve renaissance or nahda. We can tell, or I don't know if we can. We don't see anything. We don't. Do we see a plan? Can we give a plan to somebody? Where is the people with plan, or is there a people, a party, a group, or something that have a plan, and that can be given to the government, and the government can apply that? This is like a question. I think it's a valid question in these situations. So we can maybe base our discussion on. Thank you. That's my comment or question.
والله يا brother قد سألت عن عظيم يعني. It's a big question, and it's a painful question. I don't know. Well, I'm really struggling to keep hope and not to give up hope, because what we're seeing is something that makes you doubt it if anything is going to happen anytime soon. This change that you're talking about, it never happened, and it never will with our current mindset. And if we're going to keep doing what we are doing, nothing is going to change in Syria. Nothing. People have to be realistic, and they stop thinking wishful thinking or daydreaming. There is a film that we have seen it before. There is countries that are not independent, and the word not independent, underline it and then accept all the consequences, or reject it. Tell me that no, Syria is independent, and the Syrian people are the ones who decide, and then I will accept whatever your logic. But if you accept that it is not independent, then you have to accept that the decision is made by somebody else. The only thing that you can do, and that's not applies only to Syria, applies to everybody. The only thing that you can do is to accept and remain patient until you get sick of it and tired, and then you revolt, and then your revolution may or may not reach the point to destroy that puppets or facade that is in front of your face, and then they're going to bring somebody else. It happened so many times. I mean, in other places we have heard about it, but we have seen it in our life many times, that the people, they can only bring down the puppets and the tools that they see in their face, while the replacement is being prepared, and one that is the existing regime expired, exhausted, cannot do the job anymore, or supporting him is going to become very costly, then they let it go. And when they let it go, they bring, and when I say I bring somebody else, it doesn't mean that they agree with somebody or make arrangement, even though in Syria, that's exactly what happened. But even they open the door for you to come to power. If they know, or you make it clear, or you give a signal that you're going to apply the agenda, that you're going to make sure that nothing changes. And in Syria, wallahi, subhanallah, things are so obvious. And they used to do much better job, wallahi. I mean, when you compare Sina'at or the making of Ataturk or Bourguiba or others, it was much smarter than the making of Julani. Yani. So it's very clear. Yani. Somebody who's terrorist killed his own friends and his own brothers, the traitor, you name it. يعني باع أصحابه يعني. And then suddenly the media will project, oh, this is a great leader, and he's so tolerant, and he's going to establish democracy, and he's going to achieve all the goals of revolutions. And people, they choose to believe that. People choose to believe because it is convenient, it's comfortable. It makes you comfortable. Yes, you're going to be disappointed later, but people, it seems they don't care. That get them, I mean, make me happy now, and then I don't care what's going to happen in the future. Somehow it will work. Maybe Allah will help us. Maybe something is gonna happen. Nothing is going to happen. There is no change in the Muslim world, and specifically in Arab country, without a sustained state of mobilization and unity around a national project. Period. نقطة أرجع للسطر. There is no real change is going to happen in any Muslim country or Arab country without the same state that we have seen against the occupation and against dictatorship, the great revolutions, all of them, including the Syrian in the beginning. That state, when people, they forget all their differences, when people, they start dream about Hurriya and dream about democracy, etc. The problem is we were never able to sustain it. Why? Because we have leaders who can be sold and bought. They are sell out. So when the population, when the current regime cannot control the population, somebody else can do it. And then we, as I mentioned in this last khutbah, we failed. I mean, if you want to change, real change, then there are several steps that you have to do them right. One is have the proper diagnosis of the current situation. We have a problem there. We always frame the situation the way it suits us. Like, for example, now, who brought Assad down? It's not the Syrian people. Because if you say we brought him down, then we are victorious, then this will take you in a certain direction and expectations. But if you accept the reality that there was something happened, something different, then you can build on it. So diagnosis, proper diagnosis, exactly what happened, and see it as is. Don't fool yourself. 2, how and why we came to this point. That's what every physician does. Family history, how and why you came to this point. Without this proper understanding, you cannot. And they are related. You can't understand the present time without understanding how and why you came to this point. Number 3, develop a vision where you want to go. Don't tell me we just that I'm gonna want to keep celebrating, or I just want tomorrow to be I need some stability, or no. Where do you want to go? What's your ultimate goal? Because when you set up your eyes on the ultimate goal, nobody can deviate you, and nobody can stop you before you achieving it. Nobody can fool you to tell you just be happy with what you got. Alhamdulillah, you got rid of Ben Ali and Assad, and that you should be happy, because you Arabs and Muslims, you have only 2 options: stability or civil war. So if you are spared the civil war, then you should be happy. That's it. Number 3, where do you want to go? Vision, dream. Number 4, strategy to get there. طيب احنا this paradigm. And number 5, execute that diligently. Now we have problem from the beginning. As I mentioned, every time we frame the situation the way we reach the point where a clear defeat, we call it victory. Why? Because we we like to call it victory. It's more convenient for us. We don't want to say so. Now apply that to whether Syria or others, and you will find that then, number 1, what happened is clearly in Syria. The Syrian people are a detail, and Julani is very small detail in the issue. They're trying to make it the central piece, but very little detail in the whole paradigm, in the whole process. The whole idea was destroying the arms of Iran, cutting off completely, destroying the arms of Iran, removing Iran from Syria, period. That's the goal. So it was done for several months, bombarding the Iranian presence and the Iranian militia in Syria, bombarding the Assad army, etc. So it has been going on for a long time. And it was meant for Assad to do it. It was meant for him with the carrot and the stick, because there was an agreement between everybody. Everybody were agreeing, and they start preparing to reintegrate him in the international community, remove the sanctions, and reintegrate him in the Arab community, etc. And if that happened, Allahu A'lam, Julani had the win, and they could have probably handed him to Assad, him and Tahrir al-Sham, yani. So that was the design, and Emirates, everybody was involved, and there was some steps. He started not cooperating a lot with Iran, etc. Who is stupid, and he thought he's very smart, and he's gonna play on both sides, so, and stopped halfway. That's what pushed things in the direction of getting rid of him. Especially that what made this is more preferred, favorite, rather than having him kicking Iran out of Syria and cutting off the lifeline to Hezbollah. What made this more, first of all, the destruction of Hezbollah, the removal of the militia, Iraqi militia, from 40,000 to 4,000 under the Israeli bombardment and the American pressure. The removal or the retreat of 10,000 Hezbollah soldiers from Syria. All of this made, and especially, and if you compare the two, of course, Julani is much more reliable when it comes to the achieving the goal, which is because kicking Iran out and cutting the lifeline, you cannot trust Assad on this because he can play games. But these people, they have ideological animosity against Iran, so they will do it. They will do it very faithfully. So that was the whole idea. When the Hezbollah was destroyed, the Syrian army did not even put any resistance. And then it became that the second option, which is why we have to let Assad do it, get rid of him, because he has expired. He cannot do the job, and he's becoming very huge burden. And then his supporters are become busy somewhere else. Russia is busy with the Ukraine, and Iran is dealing with all this pressure, etc. So we're gonna have to understand. Once you understand the reality, that's exactly what happened. طيب, alhamdulillah, and we have to be happy and very celebrate. And I don't tell Syrian not to accept the gift, even it came through the Israeli plane, still, because there was no way the Syrian revolution can achieve its goals as long as the Assad regime is there and as long Iran is there. There is no way. So alhamdulillah, the two major obstacles in front of the Syrian revolutions were removed, and that's it. That's the only intersection between your agenda as a Syrian and Syrian revolution and between the international and regional agenda. Anything that is happening after that, you have nothing to do with it unless you force it. Because now, beyond that point, the arrangements, you're not going to like them. The arrangements, these people, neither Turkey, nor Israel, nor the United States are coming to achieve your goals or to help you establish a democracy and renaissance and development and tell me none of this is going to happen. None. And we fool ourselves if we believe that's going to happen. Now, whether the Syrian people are going to learn the lessons and then take it to the street now, not even tomorrow, and make it clear, yeah, Julani, you did not come through coup d'etat. Yes, you were brought by these people and they brought you and you're going to serve their agenda. But at the end of the day, without the revolutions, you are nobody. And we are not willing to allow you to just replace the same regime or do the same work. It's not going to happen. The way I see it now, that's not taking place. The guy, he learned the lessons from other countries, but the Syrian people didn't. Today, he said that it was going to take 4 years. 3 years constitution, 4 years to have an election. Very smart. That's clearly because there is a president that's going to be for life. So they want this whole momentum to die. Because in Tunisia, for example, they said we need 1 year to write the constitution, and then they had to extend it for 2 years or 2 years and a half, etc. This guy is very clear. Not 1 year, not 2 years. We're going to have 3 years to write the constitution, 4 years to have an election. By that time, you have another Assad in place. Now you can tell me that, alhamdulillah, compared to Assad, at least this guy is not arresting people and is not killing people in the street. First of all, he did in Idlib. And number two, why should he do that? No dictator has arrested people if things are settled for him. Why should arrest people? First of all, he cannot do it because tomorrow if he start rounding up the Syrian activists, he's not gonna. Probably the population will not allow him. And number two, he's not needed. Ahna Bourguiba came to Tunisia in 1956. Until the late 70s, he did not arrest anybody. Why he should arrest? If nobody is challenging his power, why he should arrest people? When these people, King Hassan of Jordan said, when these people, they became ruthless, when groups came up to challenge their power. But as long as you don't change, I mean, you accept him as a dictator, he does what he wants, why he should arrest you? You're going to be free to say whatever you want. And I can understand because the tragedy that the Syrian people went through will make everything looks good. It's terrible. It's beyond imagination. So there are many factors that I can see them are going to help, unfortunately, settling the new system and the new regime without any change. Syrian people should be very happy, and nobody can blame them compared to what they had before. The country is at huge risk of civil war, and therefore, as long as there is no civil war, we should be happy. In Tunisia, they told us this. Tunisia has no weapons in the street and no militia, nothing. And they kept telling us, just be quiet, otherwise there is a civil war. The civil war can happen. So just accept stability. So Syria, again, the number of factors will make people happy with what they got, which is freedom of speech. I'm an exiled Syrian. I can go back. I was kicked out of my house and my city or my village, and now I can go back. Nobody can arrest me. I can finally breathe, and I can celebrate the rest of my life. And unfortunately, that's what I expect to happen.
I think, Dr. Suhail, we are different. We will make it different.
Allah.
Inshallah, I know you disagree with me, but you know.
Inshallah, you need a miracle, inshallah.
Okay, what you want us to
Abdullah,
do,
man,
like,
don't-
okay,
don't-
Doctor, I will agree with you. I agree with 90% what you said, but what you want from us to do right now? Give me steps, practical steps for the Syrian people to do right now.
You go back to the revolution days. You take it to the street
did.
every Friday. No, every Friday with millions. And don't allow anybody to say, because there are in every thing like this, let me finish. There are people who are benefiting. There are groups in Syria
They are
who are
demonstrating.
no. Let me tell you this. There are like we saw in Egypt and other places. There are groups in Egypt who are in Syria who are benefiting from the change, and they will not. If you call them tomorrow to the street, they're not going to come with you, because they think they're going to get a big piece of the pie, of the coming pie. So that's very unfortunate. But unless you keep the same spirit of mobilization and unity and demands, no way 4 years election, no way 3-year constitution. You should have anything that is not going in the right direction. You should be opposing it and send the message to this guy that regardless of who brought you, we're not going to repeat the mistake of our fathers and grandfathers who allowed Hafez Assad and then Bashar to settle and become so hard to remove. We are not going to allow you to do that. So, and that's not happening. Nowadays, people, because the strategy that is being applied to the Syrian people is the same that was applied to all the people, all the other people. They're going to keep you busy with what's going on, statement every day, tasrih, interview, etc. They're going to keep you busy with the fulul. Always there is this threat of the remnant of the old regime. Keep you always under the fear of civil war. It's the same strategy, same package that we have seen before. But if you are waiting for a change to happen from these people or from outside, you are just fooling yourself. It's not going to happen. Even Turkey is not coming to achieve your goals. It's not coming to achieve the goals of the revolution. And what I see now, it's almost the same trend. It's wait and see. These are the most important days, because momentum is going to die. People are going to be busy. The celebration is going to go. People are going to be busy with their lives. And then this propaganda, the propaganda that did something miraculous to bring somebody with this status and change him to completely another status in a couple of weeks, that's amazing work. That's amazing work. And you think this propaganda is not going to do the same for the population, especially, as I'm telling you, there are prominent groups in Syria who are happy with what happened because they are expecting big piece of the pie. So the people whom you saw probably next to you in the revolution, if you revolt today or you protest today, you'll find them against you. Because our people, unfortunately, our elite, our political parties, quote unquote, they work for power, and when they get power, they don't care about the people. They don't have a problem with dictatorship. They have problem with dictatorship when they are the victims, but when they are in power, it's no problem. So if the dream is justice and democracy and civil society and equal opportunity and development and tanmia, I'm sorry to tell you that you're going to be very disappointed.
If we fail in Syria to have what you are saying about the Middle East going another 100 years in the same status quo.
That's very unfortunate. I mean, it happened before. That's not the first time. Look at Iraq, look at Yemen, look at Libya, I mean, it's not like the first time. Again, Syria, subhanallah, yani, the Syrian people have almost all what it takes to be the exception and to create that success story. Syrian people, they went to Germany, they had big impact. They went to Egypt, they found areas in Egypt that was completely deserted, and they turned into something great. Some places, Syria, the Egyptians, they go there and eat and dine, and there, even though places were like they for trash or for, so they are very big entrepreneurs. They know if they are allowed to do it. On the other hand, you see the equation, it requires a miracle. What can bridge the gap? It's type of leadership that unfortunately does not exist. But the raw material is there. The ingredients, Syria has all what it takes to create a success story, and the Syrian people are capable. But unfortunately, they're not going to allow them, and that's fine. If it doesn't come from within, I think they can deal with whatever comes from outside. But it's going to come from within. Those who are brought to power and they are being supported to remain in power forever, don't think that this Julani now is being protected by his militia. Just don't make that mistake, please. I mean, when you go to the street or to Jama Masjid Amawi, he's not relying on his group to protect him. Because that requires a level of intelligence that is way beyond our abilities, beyond the abilities of even the Syrian state, not his militia, who's securing him or guaranteeing his security. That's so it's a delicate situation, but time is of essence, and Syria can easily go into civil war that is more bloody than anybody else, that even Libya, because these ideological groups, there is so much weapons that are outside, and it's critical geographic location, and so many hands are playing there already, playing from before, so many intelligence, and now it's going to be even more. Because this fluid situation opened the door for anybody who want to do anything in Syria like they did in any other countries. These fluid situation conditions, they open the door for anybody to come and play.
I just want to add, yeah.
It's an uphill battle, but if we accept exactly what happened, and we know that, okay, guys, thank you, you removed the obstacles in front of us, but at the end of the day, this is our country and this is a revolution, and we're going to go all the way to achieve our revolutions, and we're not going to go home and allow you to design things for us and expect it to be good.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. The Syrian people are educated and they have I mean, they are skillful. Lots of them are smart, and
very,
they can do
very.
big difference. That's I totally
Syrian
agree.
and Syrian abroad.
Of course,
I
of
mean,
course. We are
they
talking
have
about Egypt. They
one of the
making
best
some jokes.
one of the best medical doctors in different parts of the world. Yeah.
Of course. But also in Egypt, they said now the shawarma is not the same. the, the ingredients, the shawarma, it's not going to be the same after Syrian people go back. So, but the
Yeah.
thing is, I mean, that's totally accepted. But the problem here, what I see from now, I mean, I can see there is some big mistake there. This government, Julani government, doing, which is making a government with one color, only the people who agrees with him. The one for internal Wazir al-Dakhiliya is Anas Khattab. He already said musica is haram, music is forbidden, and the other stuff. So they are so strict. So they are the same Salafi mentality group. But the problem here is not that. There is people from the Ikhwan or Salafi group. They are making this as beautiful as it can be. Oh, he has to do this because it's a revolution or something. In this situation, we need one color in the government. They are doing what they're supposed to do, what the opposite of what they're supposed to do. I see on the TV like Ahmed Mansour programs. He made Julani looks like he's a prophet. He's so nice. He's the one. Ahmed Mansour is covering one eye and opening only one eye. This is really unacceptable. I mean, this is of course Ahmed Mansour doesn't speak from himself. He speaks from Qatar, Al Jazeera, and they have their own agenda. This is what made, to me, that signs of destruction of the Syrian. They are replacing a criminal dictator with another maybe criminal, brutal dictator. If
I mean, and
our brother in Syria, they have a lot to do. They cannot just keep silent and just dancing in Al Maidan or something in Dimashq. They have to be more. I mean, as you mentioned in the beginning, this revolution wasn't by Daesh or Ikhwan. It was by the whole people, the whole spectrum of Syrian society. And Syrian society is rich, not from today. From long time before I was born, we know Syrian has a lot of educated people who did a lot. They have history, they have culture, they have all this stuff. They have to do their job. They cannot just be on the side. They might be, I mean, somebody will silence them like the Turkish, intelligent or something, but they have to do their job. Otherwise, we know the result.
أخي نحن we are the only people in the world who repeat the same mistakes. We are the only people in the world who do the same thing, expect different results. We are the only people in the world that we see reality, but we look the other way, or we want to see a different reality that exists only in our mind. This guy has a very solid track record of brutality. When he was capable, he did it. So don't tell me now overnight he became so a different person. No, he has a very solid record. He did not mention the word democracy until now. He mentioned the word Iran 40 times because that's what he was brought to do. But he did not mention even the word democracy. He doesn't believe in it. I mean, these people who are leading these kind of groups, they are dictators in their own groups. They cannot. فاقد الشيء لا يعطيه. If you are a dictator in your party or in your group, you're going to be democratic for the Syrian. It's not going to happen. Read about the biography of the justice minister, the one we brought, and others. Yeah. And by the way, there is only the family businesses coming out because there are two governors and his brother already in the government. Yeah. I mean, people, again, there is a solid track record. This man is not. He has committed crimes with his own hands in Iraq and in Lebanon, etc. So it's not. He doesn't have to prove himself. Yeah. And you compare it to him, Bashar, when he came, maybe people can be fooled. That's a physician and came from UK, and he said that he's going to do reform and progress and the tatweer and etc. And no, but this is coming with the solid track record. Yani. So people, again, they have to realize that these political groups, they are sects, طوائف. You call it هيئة تحرير الشام, but better call it طائفة تحرير الشام, because they are طوائف. They are no different than Alawi than others. They are طوائف. طائفة meaning they think that anybody who is not, first of all, the best interest of Islam and Syria is in the best interest of Tahrir al-Sham. And the best interest of Tahrir al-Sham is in the best interest of Julani. Same thing applies to Ikhwan, same thing applies to everybody. It's the nation and the deen is incarnated in the Jama'ah. Jama'ah is incarnated in its leader. And you just obey. And so don't be surprised when you see those, what do you call it? Yani, ridiculous and silly contradiction. Because we have seen this time and again before. We have seen abuse of human rights in one country are denounced, and the whole social media is full of it, but the same abuse happened in another country and they are justified. We have seen this. And to the point that it is disgusting. Egypt dictator arrests people, dictator abuse Erdogan. No, he has to. He should. That's pragmatic, and you can't do that. You lose respect of people and you lose credibility when you play. Assad, he's bombarded by Israel all the time, and he only denounced and he said, we reserve the right to respond. Okay. And then the next day, Israel is bombarding, and Julani said, it's fine, no problem. No, that's not the time. He's getting outsmarting them. He's got مسكن. والله العظيم أصبح مقرفة يعني. These justifications, it became يعني so disgusting. So, but we have seen this, and we're gonna keep seeing all the time. Emirat is so terrible doing tatbiya. Tomorrow Julani does tatbiya. Yes, he has to. That's smart. That's the right way to do things. Normal. Why? Because deep down, it's this person, it's this in our best interest or not. So the word now went out already that this, what is happening in Syria, it's in our best interest. So go ahead, all the militia online, go and promote it and shape the minds of the Arabs and Muslims in the world that what happened is great and this is great. This is what again, it's a mode order that comes, and then you open the social media and you find tufan, you find tsunami, to the point that you start doubting yourself and even doubting something that you see. So you can doubt your eyes because of the bombardment that you got on social media. And why the bombardment on social media? Because what is happening, what happened, and with the direction in which this is going, it is suiting people who are very influential. They are the ones who shape the minds of Arabs and Muslims, even without you knowing, without you realizing, but you find yourself going with the flow, saying what they want you to say, accepting what they want you to accept, etc. It's amazing. And I commend them really for this work. Everything can be justified. If you don't have principled position, and if you don't have patriotic position, like you are someone who have principles. Istibdad, bad, regardless of who does it. Dictatorship, despotism is bad. It's not like, let me see who's doing it and what's in it for me. No, it is bad, rejected. تطبيع, normalization, etc. You're against it. You are against it everywhere by anybody. So principled position and consistent position. That's what makes you consistent. When you have principled position and patriotic. What is in the best interest of Syria? What's going on now? It is not in the best interest of Syria or Syrian people. The Syrian people are going to come out of this with nothing. Even this freedom of speech, this minimum freedom of speech, it may disappear because you have someone who was a dictator in Idlib, who did not accept anybody to oppose him, and whose jails are not, they don't have very good reputations. He had jails and he had executions. So that's the one that suddenly they want us to erase that, take an eraser, erase all of that, and accept the nice suit and tie and moderate. And we have going to have strategic relationship with Egypt, strategic with the Saudi, strategic with Russia. What do you want? What do you want? I will tell you. What do you want? Just I'm really sorry because sometimes I say, let me stop doing this. Let me stop running against the flow and just keep quiet because you find yourself spoiling sometimes the happiness and celebration of people, and you suffer for several years, and then people come back and say, you know what, I think you were right before. I mentioned this in Tunisia in 2011. At this time, I had this discussion with the people. Say, this is starting in the wrong direction. It's not going to lead anywhere. You're losing the best times. Now that there is a momentum and people are rallying behind, this is the time to develop a vision and rally people behind it and forget about the tandeem and the organization and the ideology, etc., because the era of ideology was gone. And people say, no, we're good, we're successful, etc. Anyway. And then I published an article in Jazeera. It is still there. You can look it up. In February, I sent it to Jazeera in February, late February. They published in early March. I said, in Tunisia and Egypt, course correction is urgently needed before it's too late. تونس ومصر لتصحيح المسار قبل فوات الأوان. People made fun. People say, what do you think? What you're talking about? Tunisia Islamists are very successful. In Egypt, we are in the palace. People called me from there. What are you talking about? What corrections? We made it. That's it. We are there already. So July, Morsi was gone, and July we had the coup and etc. In Tunisia, I think it was either 2015 or 16, 15 maybe. I published an article saying في تونس قضي الأمر, done deal. After they reintegrated the old regime and they made this tawafaq or whatever arrangement with them, and then these people, they were, I said, this is a done deal. 2015 or 2000. What are you talking about? These are tactical. We are smart. We are trying to play the game and etc. All right. And then 2021, Tunisia, the revolution closed completely and we went back to open dictatorship.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Ghannouchi.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh. I've been following the news little by little, and one thing that I noticed, for a country to survive, it has to have control over its natural resources. So right now, the new Syrian government really does not have control over the oil fields in the north. I think they are in the northwest. I think the Americans have control of them, or the Kurdish groups have control over them, or they are in Kurdish regions. So I was like, okay, inshallah, this government can sustain itself, but then again, there's no one saying, we need to take control of these oil fields because, that's going to be revenue for the government. So it seems like, I don't know, maybe they're going to rely on foreign aid. I just, think there's no talk about that. Like some of the politicians that I heard on TV, they're talking about, we need the experts to write the Constitution. To what you were saying earlier, we need a vision and all that. I started to think, maybe before writing the Constitution, you need think tanks to develop, the vision, to continually feed the government with, ideas and a vision. But they're jumping to, write a constitution. So it seems like it's going to be another maybe Iraq, where, as soon as they got rid of Saddam, they started talking about, write the Constitution. And then there's not much talk about, think tanks or a vision.
Things are being pushed to it's really very obvious, very clear. Things are being pushed to simple replacement of Bashar and Ba'ath with Julani and Hayya. It's so clear. Yeah. It just is being done gradually. And then there will be some democratic decor. So it will not be as brutal and as ugly as the Assad, of course. It's going to be, there can be elections, there will be some freedom, there will be some political parties, there will be a lot of civic organization and a lot of private channels here and there, and a lot of things going on. But at the end of the day, there will be one man show calling the shots, and actually not calling, repeating the shots, because this man has no power whatsoever. Don't be fooled by all these delegations going to visit him. He has no negotiating power in his hand. Negotiate with what? Economy is completely destroyed. Economy, if they don't rescue him in the next few days from outside, I don't know what's going to happen to him. So he's really his neck. So they had the Kurd on the northeast. It's on his head. Even the Turkish, yes, they are supporting, etc., but they're keeping the Jaysh al-Watani Suri because it is much more reliable for them. So he's really cornered, and Israel on the south, and it's so much cornered. No, but it's going to be pushed gradually. There will be some constitution, there will be national dialogue and national convention and etc. All of this is going to happen. This is the marketing stuff. This is the way to sell you the final product. This is the way that is the marketing or the steps, so that the final product. When you take a pill, you drink some water. That's the water for the Syrian people to take the pill. But the final pill is, if the Syrians do not stop it and stop it quickly, it's heading in that direction.
Okay, Dr. Suhail, after I listened to you this 1 hour, I was planning to go back to Syria to spend a couple $100,000 to open a small business. Me and millions of Syrians like me. But after I listened to your speech right now, I'm deciding not to do that. You see?
Good, like, I should keep quiet. Yeah.
No, I am not saying you should keep quiet. But you see what the problem right now. After I listen to you, I go.
I'm sorry, but Alhamdulillah, I don't have a large crowd. So don't worry.
No, but you see, my point is, if I feel depressed, I will not do that. I'm talking about the majority of Syrian people. They are optimistic. They are planning to go back home.
Majority of Syrians are not going back home.
Majority of Syrians money. I'm not saying I am not going there to live there. They try to open small business there.
No. Majority of Syrians, they're going to go back to visit, and then they found that it is impossible. The economy in Syria is going to be completely subordinate to the Turkish economy. So no manufacturing. You're going to get products ready. It's the same deal that Bashar did before with Turkey, and really hurt the Syrian economy, hurt the people who manufacture things, because they start being bombarded by the Turkish products. So that's what's going to happen at a larger scale this time. Anybody who wants to start business or open something and to become, because it is not meant for the Syrian economy to become solid, productive, robust economy. That's not what is meant. That's not even in the best interest of Turkey. So forget about Israel and forget about others. They may not, they don't definitely want that. But even Turkey, they don't want this. Turkey want, what do you want? We can bring it to you.
Okay. Thanks very much, Dr. Suhail.
And
Inshallah.
this is the last time you hear from me. I'm sorry.
I don't know why Muhammad he opened the subject about Syria. I was hoping to talk about
gonna
something
keep-
else, you know.
Well, my
I'm gonna
question
keep-
was
I will
how
keep
to
quiet.
achieve renaissance.
Yeah.
I will keep quiet.
I hope, Abu Abdullah, I think you should wait a little bit.
Bassam,
We
we
are
all,
waiting,
we all
okay.
love Syria, Bassam. We all love Syria. This is why we all, I mean, the current subject is Syria. You know, we all care for Syria. We all wish the best for the Syrians. I think
Absolutely.
you guys are
Yeah, but the ball is not
really,
in our hand. The
That's
ball
a
is not
problem.
in
That's
our
a
hand.
problem. Yeah.
yeah. I think as Dr. Suhail said, you need a mobilization somehow. I was gonna ask you, Dr. Suhail, how can they be mobilized? How can they go out and protect the revolution and make sure the revolution outcomes, you know, are fulfilled?
Yeah, they did it
How-
before. They
yeah.
have done.
I mean,
They have
I
done
don't
it
know
before.
how they can start this. I mean, I think it looks like, I don't know if the Syrians understood the status quo or what's happening behind the doors, and how the Tahrir al-Sham, Jolani, you call him Jolani, now he's a Shara', but I don't know, regardless. How can they read and you mentioned something very, very important, which is basically reading the diagnosis. What happened? You know, I think reading diagnosis, reading the problems will lead to the right place, you know, to where to start. How can we correct? But how this is all can be normalized, you know, that's the thing.
Yahi, they have done it before. They have done it in much worse conditions. The problem now, they are being deceived. They are being deceived that there is a victory and there is a Nasr and there is a Tahrir, and so we just celebrate. That's the deception. In the beginning of the revolution, they did it under the brutality of Assad. They were organizing and mobilizing and united. The problem now is some important factions are not going to join you to protest because they think they're going to reap the fruits of this, and they're going to get a piece of the cake or the pie. But with this still, if you accept the proper diagnosis that there is no Tahrir, there is no victory, there is nothing happened, except there are two obstacles that prevented us originally from doing anything, and those obstacles were removed. Yeah.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Dr. Suhail, and
Ayak-
see you next Sunday, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam.
Alaikum salam.